Dear friends, I would like to talk today about Mitsubishi cassettes, especially this fault code P5, which refers to condensate water issue. It could be pump, it could be blockage onto this drip tray, and this is the cassette. Probably most of you know how the cassette looks like. You'll pull out the filter sometimes to clean it. You'll see the motor inside. Sometime you'll find switches a switch which is filter access safety. When you'll pull out the lid, you will stop the fan. I made it only once, but I don't remember which unit I found it. This is the printed circuit board. I want to explain to you a little bit the basic. As you'll see here, I have a floating switch and a condensate pump. I marked them with yellow, try to make it easy for you. Now you will see when this cassette is running, the moisture from the air will condensate onto this heat exchanger and will slide down onto the drip tray. Then obviously the drip tray will fill with water, and this floating switch has got like a kind of donuts which slides up and down on a shaft. That shaft have a magnetic switch which will enable a signal to the PC board. Once this donut will go up, because the floating switch, when the drip tray will fills up, will instruct the printed circuit board to start the condensate water pump, and the condensate water pump eliminate water from the drip tray. Sometime because of the dirt, that little donut from the floating switch will not slide up and down the shaft, or the pump can be clogged or burnt, can have a lot of dirt into the drip tray, and then if the water will stay too much into the drip tray, will have this fault P5. So it is very important to look into this fault and to repair it, not to override the floating switch. If you'll override the floating switch and you'll start doing it, you'll have a rain inside your premises if the drip tray, the pump is damaged. So how can you tackle this problem? First, you'll take the lid out. You will see 4 corners. In one of these corners, you'll have a kind of rubber lid. You'll pull out, there's some plastic corners, pull them out, find the rubber lid, use a bucket, and you will drain the drip tray. Then I use a plastic bottle of water with the hot water, and I push water inside and I pull it out. So I will flush a little bit the drip tray, and I allow the water to go in the bucket to take all the sludge out. Sometimes unlucky works, sometimes if the pump is not burned, most of the time it works. So look how this system works now. If the tank fills with water, see that floating switch will enable the pump, and the pump will drain the water, and then that donut will slide down and will stop the pump. This is it. It's very easy. Okay, so the floating switch will enable a switch when it goes up, because it's a magnetic switch, and it will enable the pump, and pump will drain the drip tray. But what about if we have sludge, if we have dirt, if the pump it is contaminated? What about if the floating switch shaft it is contaminated? Sometimes we have to clean them. That's not a pleasant job, but if you don't clean them, you won't have any success. You really have to pay attention to this. And yes, this is the only way when the system will work well. If that little floating switch goes up, pump will be enabled, takes the water out, and then it's coming back down and will stop the pump. See, you can see here much better now. If you have a fault onto the pump or anything that is not eliminating the water, that floating switch will trigger an alarm, an error, P5. You have to reboot the unit, but then it comes back again. I work in Australia with a lot of ducted system. They don't have incorporated a pump. You can put a pump. You have to make sure when you wire the pump, you can integrate the pump inside the printed circuit board that way. So if we will not extract water, that air conditioning will stop, not to flood the premises. It is up to how much you know electronics. Also, guys, I think you know the split system doesn't have a pump, most of them by default. Cassettes have by default pumps due to their position, you see, and the pump is inside, kind of on that location. It's smaller than the way I designed it myself, and sometimes you have to clean the pump or to pull it out. Gentlemen, if the AHU runs on cooling mode, the moisture from the air will condensate and will go down into the drip tray. If the system run on heating mode, obviously guys, on heating mode there won't be any water to go into the drip tray. That's why you have to pay a lot of attention. Some customers will tell you, okay, I use the air conditioning all the winter and now in the summer it is not working. I have this error code P5. In the winter you don't use that floating switch, you don't have water on the drip tray, so your unit will work because the heat exchanger is hot. You don't have any condensed water onto this heat exchanger, so the pump will not work. The same with the split system, but the split system never use pumps unless you want to push the liquid upwards. Normally they go naturally down, but I installed a lot of pipes, a lot of pumps, because I have to send the condensate water far away on horizontal. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I did some other videos. This is a system I designed for myself. It's a water heating system. I managed to get out 47 degrees Celsius. The benefits of it is that I use only 2.4 kilowatts electrical energy, and I'm pulling out 10 kilowatts heating capacity, which is great. It's running pretty economical. I also talk about the boilers, the combi boiler and the system boiler. How can you use both of them efficiently? Some people say combi is better than system, but I disagree. You can use each of these boilers in your advantage if you understand a little bit of like thermodynamic, hydrodynamic, etc. And if you will subscribe to my video and you will scroll, you might find things that might interest you in relation to the control, how to fix air handling units, how to check motors, to understand start delta, and many other nice things you can learn in there. On some of them you'll find my phone number, and I answer to a lot of people, try to help. I'm not trying to pretend I'm a teacher, I'm just sharing my experience with my fellow colleagues. And also I'm watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I found a lot of interesting things. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time with other video which is more in detail about electronics. Thank you.